Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As you guys can see, I got a cool little RC truck here to review today. This is a PKX truck. I've never heard of this brand, but it looks pretty cool. The name here is the Beast. They also have the speed. It says X31 here on top. But the actual model number for this starts with the Z. It's the Z002A. They also have a 001A, which looks like the same truck, which is different body types. And this has full ball bearings. It does have just friction shocks. 2.4 gigahertz, all the stuff you expect on this little 1/16 scale, and is four-wheel drive, ages 14 and up. But this thing is pretty darn cheap. I was just looking at the listing on Amazon because PKX was nice enough to send this out to me for review. And this sells for $79.99, which is not too bad. But right now there's a 50% off coupon, which would make this thing, what is that, 40 bucks? If it's $79.99, 80 bucks, so $40 for this little guy. And boy, that's not a bad price at all for a little RC truck, four-wheel drive. It seems like it's pretty well made. The tires feel pretty nice. There's no foam or anything in there, but we do have full metal dog bones. Nice looking ones too, rather thick. So I don't expect these to be anything that would bust. Now, as I mentioned, it's just friction shock. So you could easily, for very little, replace those with oil filled. There's no lights or anything on the front of this guy. Again, it is sort of basic. Let me take off the body so you can see underneath it here. I've already taken that protective film off. And it feels like these body clips are plastic, which I kind of like because the metal ones can really jab you when you're trying to pull them off under your fingernail if you're pushing on them. But here is a 390 brushed motor. It's got a little cooling attached to it there, which is always nice. It does use one of these kind of less common 2-pin connectors. The steering servo is a 5-wire, you can see in there, but they say on the listing a 3-wire steering servo, which is absolutely not correct. So it wouldn't be as easy to to swap this out for different electronics without replacing everything on this guy. Now, it uses a 2S lithium-ion pack, and that's what they provide. They just give you one of them, but it is 7.4 volt. It is an 800 milliamp hour, and if you can sell it, there's 2 cells in there, hard pack, so they're lithium-ion. Got your on and off switch here on the side. So yeah, this is just going to go in here and then plug in. There's not 2 batteries. Sometimes the Amazon sellers will give you 2 batteries. This one just comes with 1. But then again, for 40 bucks, I can't complain too much. They also give you, of course, a USB charger that charges up the balance plug. They give you some spare parts there in case anything breaks, a screwdriver, give you a 4-way wheel wrench, some extra body clips, and some extra screws and some wheel nuts and stuff like that. So it's nice they are including some extra parts. You get your instruction manual, and they give you some extra decals if you want to add some different ones. But as you can see, we already got a front in the grille and headlights, so it'd be kind of odd to try to place these over the top of it. But you could put some of these on, but I'm not. I think it would kind of make it look worse. In my opinion, it's kind of odd that they included that. Let's take a quick look at the instruction manual. See which way we got it here. You do have an exploded view. That's nice. Pretty basic instruction manual, but you don't expect too much with these RC cars, but it's good enough. You don't need anything too fancy on this truck. So again, $40 for this thing is really, I was so super happy to see that 50% off. It's a clippable coupon, so there'll be a purchase link down here in the video description, because I expect this is going to be good, but we won't know. Let's wait until the end before you jump to buy this. But I think 40 bucks is pretty good. It does. I mentioned I didn't think there was any lighting in the front, but I can see an LED strip light down the middle. They don't mention that in the listing that I can see. So let's see when we plug it in what color that glows and if it lights up the inside of this RC truck. And then for the controller, let me grab that over here. It's a little bit different than I've seen, but the nice thing is it's reversible for right or left-handed. So if you're left-handed, you can put it on this side. Right-handed, like more people are, put it on this side. That's nice. You don't see that very often on Indies. I've seen it a few times. It's not common. It certainly makes it easier, especially for a kid, someone getting into it, to get comfortable if they're left-handed and they have to use their right hand to steer. You have a speed dual rates here, and it was way down to the left. So we'll see. It goes all the way around here. So we have to see how much that increases the speed, because then you also have a steering trim. So I assume that this is dual rates and not just your throttle trim. Again, we'll see once we get it turned on. And then you have a what is this little button here? LED channel. So this is going to be to switch probably the colors on LED. Again, I didn't see that in the listing on Amazon when I was browsing it a while ago, but maybe it is on there. So that is cool. I'm glad we do have some lights. And then here is your power button. It takes 3 AA batteries. So let's get this guy fired up and take it out here in front of the house and just see how it goes. I think they rated around top speed of 19 miles an hour. We're not going to test that, but I'll be able to give you an idea whether I think it's close to that or not. So be right back, guys. Okay, guys, real quick before I get the body put back on, I wanted to show you those white LEDs. They are just white. I thought maybe this LED button would let you switch. When I press it, they just go on and off, and you hold it again. I don't see any different colors, so they're not RGB. They're just white. And as you saw in the intro there, I mean, you can't really see these during the day. This would be something that you drive them at night. They're going to light up the interior of the body and look pretty cool. So if I think about it, maybe I'll put it, drive it around in my basement here at night at the very end of this video so you guys can see what those white LEDs look like. But here in the daytime, I don't think we're going to see those at all. All right, let me go ahead and get the body on, and we'll take this thing out and drive it. So be right back. All right, guys, it's all powered up, and we get the body on. The white LEDs are on right now. I turned them off. You can't tell a bit of difference. I'm sure you can't even see it in there. So during the daytime, the LEDs do absolutely nothing, but I do think they might look kind of cool to light up the interior at night. So again, I'll try to stick a little footage filmed inside in the basement just at the end so you can see what the LEDs do look like and how much do they light up the car. Let's go ahead and take it out here. Now again, the switch is really low, and you can see the dual rates. That's certainly not 19 miles an hour because it's really low. Now you're gonna need some steering trim. I could see before I started it up that the steering was really out of trim. So this is the speed you'd probably want for maybe like a 5 or 6 year old. Let's go ahead and crank that dial all the way up. So this is definitely a dual rate, and that's much better. That's what that looks pretty good. Let's get a little better run here before I give an idea on what I think it is. Ooh. Yeah, not bad. I need some more steering trim. So let's see. Pulling to the left. So do a little more. Let's see how it goes this time. Now it's going a little bit to the right, so I give it a little bit too much. It's hard to get to some of these. Whoa, my goodness, did you see that? It did a complete somersault landing on its wheels. Oh, I hope I can get that in slow motion for you guys. I've never had a car do that. This is where they repaired a section of the road, and it looks like this scene that they put down maybe is raised up some with the thawing and freezing of the winter here. Oh! So I've never had it do that. I've never had an RC car do that. I've hit that before with other stuff. As far as I remember, I have. Whoa, that was really crazy. Let's see if we can do that again. I mean, it did a somersault. Oh, we're just scuffing up the body with some road rash. That was really cool. I've never had an RC truck. Now we got some road rash. Do a complete forward somersault and land on its wheels like that. That's crazy. That's cool. What I was getting at, this doesn't look like, it doesn't look like 20 miles an hour to me. I'd say it's close to 13 to 15 probably. I'd have to confirm that with my GPS module. It really likes to spin out there, as you guys can see, what's doing the donut. Let's see here as the back end. Did we lose a body clip or two? Yeah, we did. In fact, we lost both of the rear body clips. I'll look here real quick and see if I happen to see them. If not, I'll just go grab a couple more out of the box. That happened from the flip and the when it landed and it rolled. It scooted across his body, because the actual 360 flip would have forward flip would have been fine. Let me get the body clips on and we'll go back and drive it. This wasn't enough, so I'll be right back. I got some new body clips on it. I think that they, like I mentioned earlier, they provide you some extras in the bag. So keep in mind, if you do flip this over, you know, and like I did, you're bound to have a couple body clips fly off, but most of us in the hobby have extras of those anyway. Those friction shocks are quite bouncy, which is not at all surprising. They're not terrible, but you guys can really, it really will bottom out, and then it really bounces a lot. Again, you know, that's something I expected, being that it's not oil filled. But yeah, I think the top speed on this is probably around 15 maybe. I'm going to take it easy on that lip over there because I don't want to lose more body clips at the moment. It really looks bad if I'm driving and the back end of the body is bouncing all over the place. Yeah, this is not a bad little truck, especially not for $40. I'm going to put my back to the wind here. I don't want you guys to, even though I got my dead cat on the mic, you don't want to be overwhelmed with a bunch of mic noise there is. As you can see, it's the last day of February, and it's very nice and mild out here in the Midwest. But anytime this time of the year when it's this warm in the low 60s Fahrenheit, it's going to be windy. I like the green. I like the look of this body better than the 001 version. It was more like a stadium truck look. And I think those LED lights, you know, it'd be nice if they had some here on the front of the bumper. This little bumper, you can see it's going to have a nice collision to keep it from damaging too much. Nice flexible composite plastic. Whoa, slammed into that block, which of course it can't make it over this block we got sitting here. Let's just take it real quickly into the grass for a moment and just kind of get an idea what kind of power this has before we wrap this up. And then of course, like I said, stick around the end, I'll drive it around just in a few circles in the basement. Dude, that's really good. Just to see how those LEDs look. Yeah, again, as you come up here, you can see how that, maybe most how this bounces because of the friction shock. Just kind of wobbles. Oh, flipped it over. But yeah, that's got, for 1/16 scale on brushed, that's got some pretty good power. I actually was concerned this thing would get bogged down. And that's obviously some grass that's grown a little bit, sitting all winter. That grass is not like cut super short. This is pretty good power. And part of that's also because we're running 2S, so 7.4 volts. So that's giving that 390 brush motor some oomph. And it's only 800 milliamps, so we'll wrap this up in a minute here. So I've got enough extra battery because I don't expect a super long run time on an 800 milliamp hour pack. You know, lots of times you'd see 1200 or 1500 sometimes. Again, this is just 1/16 scale, but it'd be nice to have a little bit larger pack. But you can find packs like this online with that connector. And you might be able to get a slightly bigger pack in there. There's a teeny tiny bit of room, but I wouldn't, you know, you're not going to get a whole lot bigger. Alright guys, I think that's enough driving around. You guys, it's getting rather repetitive for this PKX little RC truck that I think is just fantastic for $40. I mean, this for $80, you know, its normal price, I'd say it's a bit steep for what it is since it's not brushless. Because then you get the $80, you're starting to get to where you start to get some, like the Hyboxing 16889 years ago, you could get that for sometimes as low as $65, which is not common. And that's brushless, but that's not common. But $80 a little high, but $40 no, half price. So if you guys are interested in this, jump on it right now. Click that, there's a link in the description. Click the little 50% off checkbox, because who knows, that could be gone tomorrow. It could be gone in a week. I have no idea. I would jump on this now, throw some oil-filled shocks on here, and you're good to go. All right, guys, stick around to the end here, and I'll run it inside at night so you guys can see the LEDs. All right, guys, back inside, and I've got down in the basement, and I have it on, and you can see, I mean, you can sort of see it here, but of course I have some lights on, but I don't have a whole lot of lights. This is not very bright. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to walk over here. I'm going to turn off the lights so it is dark, and all it'll be is a glow of my studio background. So let me walk over here and turn on the light, off the lights I should say. And now it's obviously much more noticeable. That looks pretty cool. So even though the LEDs don't appear to be that bright, when you get into a low light situation like this, that looks pretty darn awesome. So you don't need to be that bright to work in the dark. So this is obviously going to be really cool if you want to take this out and drive it at night. But during the daytime, the lights are pretty much useless. But we can just give it a little throttle here and drive it around here. I'm just using my phone to film this, so I gotta try to steer one-handed, so you have to forgive me. But yeah, I mean, I think that looks pretty cool in the low light, and it actually probably looks a little better in my phone screen here than to the naked eye. It's probably the exposure of the phone, so it's not quite as bright to the naked eye as it is on my phone screen here, which it should look about that way in the video you guys are seeing. But yeah, overall, that's a pretty cool little added touch. LEDs are very cheap, and I'm glad they did include some sort of lighting with this. But yeah, it's something you're going to have to use only at nighttime, or if you're driving indoors where it's dark. All right, guys, that lets you guys see the lights there. So if you stuck around for that, I appreciate it, guys. So thanks a lot for checking out this video. Again, if you're interested in this, check down in the video description, because at the time of filming this, this was only $40 after you clipped the 50% off coupon. Be sure to subscribe if you're not a subscriber to the channel, and while you're at it, click that bell. That way you're notified every time I do upload a new video. And as always, guys, have a wonderful day.
The power of the dark side.